All right. Well, thank you all again so much for joining us for today's Rebuild LA Town Hall with Habitat LA. My name is Carla Torres. I am the head of community engagement for Amazon Devices and Services and also a proud sponsor of Habitat's Rebuild LA efforts. We'd love to know who's here today. So if you wouldn't mind dropping in your name and organization in the chat, if you are from one of our corporate partners, that would be fantastic. So please do so, so we can get a quick check of who's in the room today. But just to, while you guys do that, a quick overview of what's ahead today. So we really want you to think of today as a window into the lives that you've already touched and also the impact that you can still shape with our Rebuild LA efforts. So want to remind you also that this town hall is being recorded. So we will share it out to you after this meeting today for any colleagues that may have missed out, or also if you know anyone in your network that you think needs to hear about the wonderful work that Habitat LA is doing and the rebuilding efforts that are ahead. Couple of housekeeping items here. Please submit your questions in the Q&A feature. So if you look down, there's a chat option, there's a Q&A feature, there's a couple of buttons down there. So make sure that you're submitting your questions in the Q&A feature, and we will have our team from Habitat LA answer them as we roll along. And also we will have a Q&A moment towards the end as well. So only those in the Q&A will be visible to us. So make sure you drop those questions there. Also, just wanted to, again, just thank you all for those that are just joining us here in the last couple seconds for joining us for today's Rebuild LA Town Hall. I want to start off by introducing Erin Rank, who has been our fearless leader, and she's going to take it away for now. Erin Rank is the president and CEO of Habitat for Humanity of Greater Los Angeles, where she has transformed the organization through her innovative leadership and a commitment to affordable housing. And I know this firsthand because aside from my day job, I also sit on the board of Habitat for Humanity of Greater Los Angeles. So I see Erin's leadership day in and day out. Under her guidance, Habitat LA has built over 1,700 homes locally, but her impact truly extends globally. She's helped build homes in countries such as Argentina, Nicaragua, Mexico, Haiti, Fiji, Tonga, Thailand, Vietnam, and the Philippines, while also raising millions of dollars to support Habitat's work across 6 continents. As a proud board member, I have seen Erin's servant leadership firsthand, and most recently as she's helped to shepherd our Rebuild LA initiative, making sure that we're maximizing impact and that she's leading her team and collaborating with the many companies, donors, and sponsors just like you, looking to do more to support families impacted by the devastating wildfires. She has served in senior roles with Habitat for Humanity International and has shaped policies that impact affiliates worldwide. So without further ado, I turn it over to you, Erin.
Thank you so much, Carla. Thank you for the wonderful introduction, and thank you for everything you do to help us lead Habitat LA in a strategic direction as we move forward with our traditional building efforts as well as our rebuilding efforts. We appreciate that. And I just want to thank everybody who's attending today. Thank you for all of our supporters and team members who carved out the time to make this call. We have had so much going on these past few months. We thought it would be a great opportunity for us to take an hour or so to update you, especially those who have been supporting our Rebuild LA work on our progress to date and our plans for the future. So as we start, I just want to say, Habitat LA has a plan to build new homes and to repair existing homes for this year. We are continuing on with that work. We are adding team members to help us with the Rebuild LA work. And so the way we're looking at it now for next fiscal year, which starts July 1st, Habitat LA will be doing about twice the work that we had anticipated in the next few years. So, but we're ready for it and we're ready for the challenge. So Helen is going to start our presentation here, and I will go through what we've done so far and what we plan to do, and we'll have time at the end for Q&A. So as many of you know, the Los Angeles wildfires were terrifying and destructive fires that really were fueled by these hurricane-like winds that made the wildfire spread throughout Los Angeles County, which is almost unprecedented. The fire started on January 7th. There were just about past our 5-month time frame since these fires happened. Sadly, 27 souls were lost in these fires, and almost 12,000 homes between the Palisades and the Eaton fire areas. So at one point, over 200,000 people were under evacuation orders. When we look at the impact that the fires had specifically on the Palisades and the Eaton and the Altadena, Pasadena areas, there have been complete neighborhoods that have been lost. And frankly, people are still assessing the damage. Insurance companies are still estimating what the cost will be to rebuild, but we know this is going to be one of the costliest disasters in US history. And the Pasadena and Altadena communities are very different in their, in their community makeup and their construction, the way that homes were built, their terrain. But both of these neighborhoods backed up to the mountains, and that's really one of the contributing factors for the fires. We lost in the Palisades area 5,400 homes, and in the Eaton fire area over 6,000 homes. There was more multifamily and apartment buildings that were lost. So what we're hearing from survivors now, and some of the things that we're trying to help them address are just getting what they need from their insurance companies, getting a response. Obviously, the volume is really high with insurance companies, but with people who have been through a trauma like this, it's very difficult if they have to start dealing with a new adjuster every time they call. And so, and not getting consistent answers. Many people also lost their source of employment and their vehicle in this fire. And so it's very hard for them to get even two resources. And even if you've lost a home, you have to still pay your mortgage. So it's straining the finances of many of their survivors. There's lingering concerns even after the Army Corps of Engineers has cleaned the sites over air quality and soil quality. For those whose homes was only partially damaged, we have a lot of people who want to get an air quality test inside their home, but their insurance company's not paying for that. And so I'll be speaking later about how we'll be helping them bridge some of those costs. And then the cost of reconnecting permits and or paying for permits and paying for utility connections is also on people's mind. So someone asked me today, like, are you ready? Are you able to really take on this body of work? And for 35 years, Habitat LA has been working across Los Angeles to help individuals to build affordable housing, to provide critical home repairs to seniors and folks who own a home but don't have the physical or financial ability to maintain it anymore. And we have responded to natural disasters going as far back as the Northridge earthquake and most recently the Woolsey fires that were in the Malibu, Agoura Hills area. And Habitat helped rebuild 120 homes after the Woolsey fire. We just finished our last one last year. So we understand housing and we understand building. And when the fires hit, the team and I sat down in the very first couple of days of the disaster and said, like, are we in? Because it's not the kind of thing you can just do a little bit of. You're either in or you're out. And we know that this is our wheelhouse. There are other social services that we don't provide, and we're very clear on that. We have other partners that can do those services in the community. But what Habitat knows is home repairs, home rebuilding, and affordable financing for gap loans to get your home rebuilt. So we started early on providing some of the essential supplies, and we will be here for the long run until everyone gets back home. We were very humbled to receive gifts from all throughout Los Angeles, actually all throughout the United States, and from several countries around the world. We found the outpouring of love and support to be really humbling, and we're so grateful for each of you who has made a donation to the ReBuild LA campaign. We're going to talk to you about what we've already been doing with those resources and what we plan to do. So far, we've served over 10,000 households with our ReBuild LA campaign in a variety of ways. The very first thing was to get immediate needs to the shelters. So we did a collection at our headquarters where we were getting some of the most needed resources that our shelter partners were telling us that they needed. So we did a collection, we distributed those items. Next, we did back home bags for people who were asked to leave their property, but were able to reoccupy it shortly after the fires. We had some resources for them to get when they moved back home, just to get them centered, things like flashlights and batteries and phone chargers in case the power was still going out, some tools and some cleaning supplies. And then we started hearing from folks who were being relocated that they needed furnishings and they needed mattresses. So Sit and Sleep came forward. They donated 1,000 mattresses to us. 764 have been distributed so far. We have other partners who are distributing home furnishings and household items like kitchen supplies and small electronics, and we're getting those out to folks. We also have Habitat for Humanity has 4 physical restores in Los Angeles County and 1 e-commerce site. And so we thought we would give people the opportunity with a $500 gift card to go in and shop for the things they need. It could be kitchen supplies, it could be furnishings. But so we've distributed 800 of those, and we plan to distribute 1,500 in total. We had 80 grocery gift cards that were given to us that we distributed, and we partnered with Airbnb. They gave 30-day stays for people who we qualified. So we had 228 households that we qualified for 30-day Airbnb stays. And then we've helped thousands at these community resource events. We've been in the DRCs, the disaster resource centers, and some of the other community events that have been happening over the past 5 months. So we have been a presence since the very beginning in the community, listening to people and letting them know that we're here. We had over 6,000 people who offered to volunteer and signed up online to volunteer with us immediately after the fires. They have been engaged in our builders brigade. So I had a lot of contractors calling us. We teamed all of our builders up together to come up with a roadmap for people to rebuild, to find resources where people would either donate their services or would charge a fair rate and not upcharge their subcontracting services to our families. We have volunteers assembling the donations as they go out, staffing the disaster resource centers, staffing the distribution events. We've served a number of people through our distribution events, and those continue. Helping to volunteer at our town halls and working in our warehouse, which our new donated warehouse, helping get that set up and organized and helping us qualify families as they come in. I mentioned we've received that warehouse. We have actually received $8 million in gift in kind. That's number one is this great warehouse from Prologis. They have given us a free 1-year lease. It's 120,000 square feet where we are stocking up first on the resources available to families and next on building materials. So we're trying to purchase as much as we can as early as we can in case prices go up. We also got the transition stays with Airbnb, and then Samsung came forward and agreed to donate a washer and dryer for every household that we qualify. And Whirlpool is donating a stove and refrigerator. So appliances are obviously a high cost item when people have lost everything. And so that will give them a little relief when they move back home. We have the mattresses from Sit and Sleep. We have bedding that was donated, air purifiers, and a ton of home furnishings from GigaCloud and other companies who are giving us brand new in the box furnishings to help people refurnish their homes. We also are starting to get building materials. GAF Roofing was one of the early ones. And we've had other donations coming in from builders as well. That's an area we're still looking for though. So if you know any companies that may want to partner with Habitat to get these families back home, that would be a great resource for us.
And Erin, that was actually going to be one of my question and items that you're looking for aside from the one you just mentioned.
Yes, so the main things would be lumber, drywall, roofing materials, siding materials, plumbing and electrical fixtures, So those are some of the flooring also. So those are some of the more high cost items. And we do a luxury vinyl plank flooring in most of our homes. So those would be some of the items that are important to us.
Thanks.
All right. So looking ahead, again, we're always trying to figure out what's our niche, what's our area of expertise, and certainly building homes is our area of expertise. But we wanted to figure out which families were the ones that we felt we would be able to help financially through this, and we are considering, you know, that families will have different resources to rebuild. Some will get insurance payouts, some will get FEMA assistance or SBA loans, but Habitat has always been that safety net. And so we're looking to assist families who are the lower income families who may have lost their insurance or not carried insurance for financial reasons. So they're uninsured or underinsured, seniors, families with disabilities, and especially those who can't or would have trouble getting online to get a lot of the resources out there right now. You have to have, know how to use a QR code and fill out a Google Doc. And we know that there are households that that would be a barrier for. So we want to be assisting those families. As we look at the services that we are going to provide, the first column are immediate support assistance items that we've already been supplying, and the furnishings and appliances, as I said, we will continue to supply. The middle column, the housing solutions, are really where the core of our work will be. So some homes just need smoke remediation from our analysis. Some will need home repairs. Some will need a complete rebuild. Most will need complete rebuilds. We also have a large pool of renters who were impacted by the fires. Habitat LA is offering them some of the home furnishings and appliances to get their new apartment set up. We are also offering them the opportunity to apply for other homes that Habitat LA is building throughout Los Angeles County if they're interested in a pathway to homeownership. We will also be providing gap financing. So where households have some money from their insurance company and some from FEMA or SBA, but maybe they need 100,000 or so to completely rebuild their homes. Habitat will provide them with a gap loan that will be a silent loan, so they don't make payments on it. It just becomes due whenever they transfer or sell the house at some point in the future. Then most recently, we added the Accelerator Fund. That is one of our innovative blue sky thinking answers to comments that we were hearing out in the community where people are moving along the road to recovery and rebuilding, but they'll hit a roadblock. And there's usually a financial price tag with it that keeps them from moving forward in their rebuilding. So one example is getting their air quality tested. If their home is still standing, getting the air quality in the home tested. Another is getting the soil quality in their home tested, so they have peace of mind if they move back home. We are having people struggle with insurance adjusters and getting in touch with insurance adjusters. We have people who don't have money for paying their water connection fee, their electric connection fee, their permits. And so the Accelerator Fund will provide small grants to people to help them pay for those things so they can keep moving forward in the process. And I'll be talking a little bit more about that in a moment. And then in addition to housing, which is the core of our work, we will be paying retired insurance adjusters to serve as advisors to families to help them understand their policies and see if they need help communicating with their insurance companies. We'll be doing housing assessments to determine what kind of house can be rebuilt on a property, and if any permitting or codes have changed that might impact that. We also will have ReBuild navigators. Those are in-house case managers, for lack of a better word, that will be helping families to understand from A to Z, from beginning to end, how to go through this process. So even if we're not building a home for a family, we will be a resource for anyone who contacts us to help them through understanding bids, finding a contractor, understanding what they can build on their property, locating an architect, anything that may help them move along as they go through the process. So our ReBuild navigators are really will be a consistent person that folks can reach out to if they need assistance. We are working on doing homebuyer education classes for renters and putting them in our Pathways to Homeownership program, which gets people ready to be first-time home buyers and helps them to apply for homeownership when they're ready. We also will be working, as I've mentioned, with the appliance and furnishing donations for households once they're ready to move back in.
Erin, I think I want to pause here on the housing solutions because you mentioned that the mid to long-term response is really going to be the bulk of Habitat LA's work. So I'm
Right.
curious, from those listed under the mid to long-term response, what do you envision are going to be maybe the top three services that you provide under that pillar?
Primarily, it will be the home repairs, the home rebuilds, and probably gap financing.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So far to date, we have had almost 4,000 households reach out to us for assistance. And we believe that the volume is due to the fact that Habitat is a trusted brand. We are a nonprofit, so we are not working, we're not increasing our rates during this time. And frankly, when people hire a builder or a contractor, there's a nervousness about if they're going to be taken advantage of, if the price is correct, if the person will take their money and not do the work. And Habitat is really that trusted source that people feel that they can turn to and get legitimate information. And there are a ton of great contractors out there, but most people have bought a house, very few have built a house. And so they're looking for someone who can walk them through the process from permitting all the way through construction. And we feel like that's why we're getting such a large volume. This number has gone up by 1,000 just in the last month or so. Of those households, we have address validated just over 3,000, but that process is continuing. And about a little over half are homeowners. The rest are renters. We have 173 that indicated they need home repairs so far. So of the 1,630 homeowners, we sent them out a more detailed housing assessment form, and we've received back the forms that state whether they need home repairs or rebuild assistance. So we've received just over 1,000 of those back. So 173 need home repairs. You see the breakdown there between Eaton and Pacific Palisades, and the 826 need complete rebuilding assistance, and 545 of them are in the Eaton fire area, and 281 are in Pacific Palisades area. Breaking it down a little more. So one of the things to note is that most people have the impression that there are no low-income people affected by the Palisades fire. And we have found that there are a number, it's not a majority, but there are a number of households that are low income in the area that owned their home, have owned it for a long time, probably had it paid off, probably had lost insurance on the home, and want to want to have that home. It was their primary asset, their primary source of wealth was their home, and that was lost overnight. So in the Palisades area, we have 94 applications, 30 need a home repair, 64 need a total rebuild. Of those, 51 are moderate income, which means our household income is 150,000 or less. 43 households are low income, so they make less than $75,000 a year, and 24 of them were completely uninsured. I think you've heard the stories where several households' insurance was dropped within a couple months before the fires. Now, in the Eaton area, we've received 411 detailed home applications. 99 need repairs, 312 need a total rebuild. Of those, 104 are moderate income and 307 make less than $75,000 a year, and 49 households are completely uninsured. So our goals. So what do we want to do to help these families? Our goal is to help all 4,000 households who have come to us or will come to us with the Rebuild Navigator program. Some will need maybe one intervention, one communication, one conversation. Others will need several. And so we'll have the whole spectrum from people who need a referral to a general contractor or a referral to a mental health specialist, all the way through to those who are going to need full reconstruction. So that's an average of $500 per household. We'll have approximately funds to fund 300 accelerator projects at $10,000 each. So 10,000 could pay for some air quality testing. It could pay for permits in some cases, and some costs will be higher, some costs will be lower. And both of those are, well, the $500 just helps offset our staff cost. For the Accelerator Fund project, those are grants. They don't need to be repaid. We're estimating 150 remediation, smoke remediation only. 25,000 may be low from what we're hearing, but that's what we have in there as an average right now to help people just who have their home still standing to be able to get back home. The next is our critical wildfire repairs. We're hoping to do 225 of those with an average price of $100,000 per critical repair. That would include removing drywall, carpeting, insulation, and doing some pretty extensive repairs on a partially damaged home. And then we have in here the wildfire rebuilds. So our homes are about 1,300 square feet. We have house designs that we are offering to people for them to select one of the house designs in our catalog. And several of the designs have already been through permitting with LA County or LA City. And so we know approximately how much those will cost us to build. And so we're looking at a $450,000 price for a complete rebuild. I put 75 down there for now. We'd love to do more. If we get more resources, we'll do more. So we feel like that's where most of the work will be, and yet it's also the most expensive. So we will be continuing to raise resources for the complete rebuilds. Any questions on that, Carla, before I move on?
I'm just curious if you have presented the rebuild catalog to any homeowners yet. Are we at that step yet? Any reactions that we've received yet?
Yes, especially in the Eaton area, we have 40 households who have already said, they looked at the designs and they said, yes, we want to rebuild this on our property. And so we're moving forward with 40 households in Altadena, Pasadena.
Wow.
We're about, because the recovery took longer in the Palisades area, we're a month or so off from being able to do that and get that information in the Palisades area.
Thank you for sharing that. I think is this my slide now, Erin?
Yes.
Right. All right. Wonderful. All right. So if there's something that has never been more true about LA, and I think for those that are local here on the call, you feel it deeply. It's that our businesses and our people continue to come together to uplift our communities when we need it most. So we definitely want to make sure that we share some ways that you can get involved as well with Habitat's Rebuild LA efforts, because as you can hear, as you've heard from Erin, this is a long-term game, and we are going to be here years down the line to make sure that every single person can get back home. So a couple of just action items for you all that you can do now to ensure that you can continue supporting this incredible work that Erin and the team are doing at Habitat for Humanity of Greater Los Angeles. First and foremost, you can become an ambassador or digital advocate. So we have the website here, and all this information that I'm sharing will be on that website link, and we'll also share these links with the recording of the call after this call. You can also sponsor the next development. So you can continue working with Habitat, sponsor a development of multiple homes or one home, and make sure that you are long-term committed to the rebuilding process. We would love if you can consider becoming an ongoing supporter or a monthly donor. So it will take several years to get everyone back home, and we need your long-term support. So if you're a company, consider getting Habitat LA in your upcoming budget years. I know I've done that at Amazon already. And if your company offers employee giving programs, consider inviting your teams to make monthly contributions. Even if it's small recurring gifts, that can make a big impact over time. So no effort is too small. If you're an individual and want to be a monthly contributor, we will also share a QR code that will be in that link for individuals that want to continue giving on a monthly basis. We recently had some really cool cause marketing events too with some retailers here in LA, and this can work in online retail as well. But consider hosting a cause marketing fundraiser, having us at your brick and mortar for a fun shopping event where a portion of the proceeds will go to Habitat LA. I know I was just at one at Veronica Beard in Beverly Hills a few weeks back. We recently also did one at the Jimmy Choo's store. And it's a really fun and easy way to engage your customers while also doing good at the same time. Volunteer and make sure that your employees are out there volunteering. Share these volunteer events as well. So this will be in the under volunteer opportunities in the links provided as well. But we have some upcoming opportunities June 18th, July 19th, and August 20th. So for the next 3 months, there will be some dates there that you can come and volunteer at distribution events where we will actually be handing out some of these in-kind items that Erin mentioned to our impacted families. And then the day prior to these actual distribution events, we will also need volunteers to be on the ground helping us to sort and organize for the distribution event. And of course, continue sharing our mission with your network, with your employees, with anyone that you know. Habitat LA is doing an incredible job, and I'm just so proud of the team. I'm proud to be a board member. And these are dollars going to good work. And I have heard from the families directly that have been impacted from Habitat LA, and it's just incredible to hear the life-changing and generational impact that this organization is contributing to. So, I think that's it for me. Again, we will send these links out and make sure that you have all the information so that you can share it out to your network, your employees, and others that you may know.
All right, shall we open for Q&A?
Yeah, so let's do some Q&A. I don't see any questions here in the Q&A, but let me check the chat and make sure to drop them if you have any questions around the information that we shared. Be happy to take them. All right, I don't see any questions yet, Erin.
All right.
All right, so actually we have one here. Thank you, Timothy. So Timothy asked, what role has Comcast NBC Universal played in supporting the initiative?
That's a great question. So um, the week the fires started, the Friday morning, we decided what our campaign would be and what we would be raising money for, and that we were going to step out in a big way. And we did a one-page flyer on the ReBuild LA concept. And by Sunday, NBC Universal had stepped forward and said, we want to fund this. We know that rebuilding is going to be the longest process and the most costly part of the process. And they stepped forward with a $2.5 million donation right away to the campaign. But not just that, they gave us visibility through the Critics' Choice Award, through some of their television shows. They hooked us up with other potential donors, and they're looking at this as a 3-year partnership. And so they volunteered. They have really helped amplify the message of the ReBuild LA campaign in the entertainment industry. And so we're very grateful to them for believing in us early on.
Yes.
I also see that Joybird is on here, and Joybird is another huge donor to our households of furnishings. And so we're really grateful for their support as well.
Yeah, thank you all so much. It takes a village. It truly does. And I remember sending you a picture of the Critics' Choice Awards and Habitat mention, Erin, when that happened. I was watching with my husband at home and I was like, there it is. So thank you, NBC Universal, Comcast, Joybird, and all other donors here on this call. The second question we have here, when will all this work start? So when is the groundbreaking? When are we putting up the first walls, Erin?
We are starting at the end of this month to start building walls. We've already started some home repairs. And at the end of this month, on the 26th and 27th, we will be just on the grounds of the Rose Bowl, where we will be framing our first walls for our rebuilds. And we'll be storing the walls until the permits come through. But we have houses starting for those 40 families who have already said they wanted to jump on board with Habitat's, one of Habitat's designs.
Wonderful. Thank you, Erin. I'm so excited for this. I know we have some Ring and Amazon volunteers that are going to be out there for that event. So looking forward to it. We have Madeline here who is wondering, I wanted to know if there's any way for my teen youth group to help and volunteer.
Absolutely. We will have events and opportunities. They're listed in our website at habitatla.org, and they are listed by wildfire and general building opportunities. So kids just need to be 16 to be on a construction site, but there's other opportunities outside of that. They can help in our restores. They can help with stocking in the warehouse. They can take furniture out of the box and build it for households as they come in, and help with our distribution events and our volunteer engagement or our community engagement events.
Thank you for that, Erin. And Madeline, my daughter is 1.5, but best believe she's in high school. Just a few more years. I'm
It'll
going
go fast. Yes.
there, nailing
She's,
down things and working
she's
at
still a habitat. She's
Yeah.
not
Oh, she's
habitain yet.
that. I love that. I need a shirt. We have another question here. What type of features is important? Will these homes take into consideration to minimize risk of fire damage?
Right. That's a great question. We're working closely with some architects to make sure that these homes, as we rebuild them, are fire hardened. We will not have attics in these homes. We know that ash in the attics was one of the main causes for houses to burn. We are fire hardening the houses and the landscaping around the houses to give them the best opportunity to withstand future fires.
This I didn't know. I'm learning something new today.
Mhm.
That's awesome. Thank you for being so thoughtful and taking all those considerations.
And of course, every home that's rebuilt will have fire sprinkler system. It didn't help in every case in these fires, but it certainly could help. And what I love is some of the technology that's coming out around households being able to have exterior fire hoses and sprinkler systems that they could use in case of emergency.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to learning more about how we can not necessarily fireproof, but give folks better resources to make sure that they can stay safe. All right, we don't have any other questions, so I'm going to give folks a couple seconds here. If there's any shy hands out there and still want to ask a question, please feel free to drop it here at this moment. And as always,
Well,
we can always go back and you can email us and we can also.
right. And I'll just take the time to say, I see several of our faith communities are on here. I want to thank Mosaic and Brentwood Pres who jumped in early to offer shelter and immediate, food and resources to households because so many people were displaced and had lost everything. And I know they're in it for the long run. I really appreciate our faith community and how they've stepped up after this disaster. If I can say anything about LA, is LA's resilient. We're going, we're realizing that every day. And one of the most heartening things I think that I observed after the fires was just how the community came out, took care of each other, opened their doors, opened their hearts, opened their pocketbooks to say, like, we're here to help and help you get back on your feet. So we were the fortunate recipient of a lot of that outpouring of love, and we're just paying it right back or paying it forward to families who are really going to be struggling. So want to thank also US Bank who stepped forward to fund our ReBuild Navigator and our case management programs. It's going to be a really critical part of our work.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you all. Thank you all. And yep, we are LA strong, Erin, for sure. We see it time. Year has been the year to really.
2025. Not even half done. We're
So,
gonna be all right. We're gonna be all right, guys. I find hope in the people in Angelinos, right? in the everyday people who come forward and give more love and caring beyond their immediate family, who help out their neighbors, who help out the folks down the street and the folks across town. There's, you know, there's an endless amount of hope that we can provide each other just based on the amount of love and caring that comes out of this community. So
Yeah.
that's what I focus on.
Yep. Yep. That's absolutely right. And I think I've never felt more sense of community than this year. So yeah, thank you for being one of those organizations that we can really pour into, Erin, because you've built something great here and the team is just doing fantastic work. I know they were, I know they didn't sleep. They must not have slept. You must
For a long time.
for a long time while this was going on. And I still don't know if you caught up, but you guys are doing great work. So appreciate you. All right, let me see. Any other questions? I don't think we have any others. But again, if you have any questions that you remember after this call, we will send out links. Please feel free to contact the Habitat team, and they will make sure to connect you with an answer or the resources that you need um, to get your question answered. So thank you all so much. Erin, I'll pass
Thank
it
you,
over to you
Carla. Yeah,
for
really
last words.
appreciate your leadership here. And, you and Amazon Ring have come in to provide us with resources from the very beginning as well. So we appreciate you. We
Pleasure.
appreciate all the board members who have cheered us on as we've been going through this process and given themselves and, encouraged other people. My biggest ask for everybody on the call would be just to spread the word. There's a lot of people who still don't have the full understanding of what Habitat's plans are and how we're serving the community. And the more people we can serve, the better. And the more folks who know about our work, I think we'll just continue to expand this great network and have them plug in, follow our social media. That's the best way to keep up to date on everything that we're doing. We're at our social media handles at Habitat LA on every platform.
Wonderful, easy enough.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much for joining us.